We've got Jake Tapper coming out with a new book. Speaking of, the media and their biases, Jake Tapper's taking care of Jake Tapper, I'd say. Yeah, he doesn't need to invest in the markets because he's just going to keep churning out books that somebody else writes, but he puts his name on. Really. So Jake Tapper has a new book, and it's sort of ironic because he was part of the problem, of course. It's called Original Sin. Oh gosh, I have to lean in to see this one. President Biden's decline, its cover-up, and his disastrous choice to run again. Gee. Wow, Jake. Like that's a headline. That's surprise. I think I said actually when he first came to office, that would be one Joe Biden. If you go back and look at some of my earlier shows, we didn't start doing this show for officially every day live until about a year and a half ago, but I intermittently would come on and I'd be like, why is he running again? Why is he planning on they need to primary him as soon as they possibly can. So this is not really earth shattering, but you know what is important to know? The guy who's writing this book, the anchor, Jake Tapper, who's trying to turn a pretty little penny, is reinventing history because he is one of the very people that committed the original sin by trying to keep Biden in power as long as he could. I remember anytime anybody would say anything about Biden's health, Jake would jump all over them. Same thing happened over on MSNBC and PBS and all these places. I mean, if these people would just open their eyes and maybe listen to a show like mine where you can actually get the truth, and I just call it like I see it, you might have had a clue he didn't have a shot at winning. And actually, yes, his health was quite poor and quite bad. But no, they ignored it. They deliberately, it was like some weird emperor has no clothes moment. It's like Joe's struggling, but you guys won't admit it. Buzz Light, thank you so much. Okay, here's Jake.
How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
First and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable
You are
to watch somebody on stage
this is so amazing. It's so amazing to me that
try and figure out an answer.
A cognitive decline.
Well, when you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you were mocking his stutter.
Yeah,
I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline. I would think that somebody in the Trump family would be more sensitive to people who do not have medical licenses diagnosing politicians from afar. Plenty of people have diagnosed your father from afar, and I'm sure it offends you. Your father-in-law from afar. I'm sure it offends you. You don't have any standing to say.
I'm not diagnosing him. What I'm saying, Jake,
you just talked
is
about
that
a cognitive decline.
That Joe Biden
I have one last
struggling
question for you, Lara. You can't
times on stage, and it's very concerning to a lot of people that this could be the leader of the free world.
Okay.
That is all I'm saying. I genuinely feel
Lara
sorry
Trump.
for Joe Biden.
I appreciate it. I'm sure.
And now he's writing the book on how it was such a sin that everybody pretended he was A-okay. Well, Jake, you were part of the sin, okay? You're part of the problem, a big part of the problem. It's like the Democrat Party has, and Deep State has people over at CNN on speed dial and people over at MSNBC on speed dial. Remember Joe Scarborough's big speech? This is the best Biden ever, the best Biden I've ever seen. Well, you guys actually ultimately really hurt yourselves. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do without the USAID money going to Reuters, the 50 million USAID, Health and Human Services was in there too, going to the New York Times. You're gonna have some tough times ahead. Politico. I mean, if you don't have your $8.2 million worth of Politico Pro subscriptions at $10K a pop, what's going to happen to Politico? I think we know. I mean, NPR, PBS, I've said all along, at least they have the decency to tell us that they're in part supported by taxpayer dollars, but these other rags, they never told us. It's come out that the BBC was getting 8% of its income from none other than us, taxpayers here in the United States of America. I think we're going to save a lot of money, a whole lot of money between that and this green card thing that they're coming up with. I mean, this is going to be very interesting. He wants business owners here. He wants people that want to grow our economy, right? Stan Liberty, good to have you in the house. I'm seeing a lot of new names, I think, because I'm on at a different time. Don Baca wants to make sure that you guys are definitely liking this. So give it a thumbs up. I'm laughing. I know, poor Biden. I know Stan Liberty, you know, he probably will be in diapers soon. I don't know. The poor guy. I really felt like it was like elder abuse. Didn't you get that sense towards the end in the way Jill Biden was clinging? Well, you know why? Because of Hunter. Because don't forget, whatever was going on there between Hillary Clinton and CGI, like they had the apparatus around them to probably cover a whole lot of that up. Hunter didn't have that. Hunter was kind of sloppy. And Hunter never registered as a foreign agent, a foreign lobbyist. So, you know, it's a good thing Daddy pardoned him. I would say this, though. He pardoned him for criminal offenses, which means states can still go after him civilly. And they need to. And so it's great that Dan's over there. Cash and Dan together are going to make a great team. And they are hitting the ground running. Don't forget, like, both those guys have been on the sidelines. Well, Dan was never part of the administration. Cash had been, in fact, very involved in the intel community and trying to, you know, figure out just exactly what was going into the Mueller report, et cetera. So he is steeped in all of this. He knows about a lot of this. And so now you just have to put the whole plan into place. And I'm telling you, it's all coming out. And for the Letitia Jameses of the world, well, you know what? Pam's suing you.
Sanctuary cities, protecting Americans. I sued the state of Illinois. I sued the governor. And I said, if you don't stop, you're next. New York kept going. They were belligerent, sued New York, sued the governor. Not going to stop. So, you know, you're going to be next if you're not watching what we're doing. And we will be successful. And we will make America safe again.
Good. Despite the protests from the mainstream media, which you wonder how much more we're going to hear of.